government is introducing a carbon tax on heat, gas, and groceries. Will the government also apply the HST and GST on the tax?
I'm glad to hear the Leader of the Opposition talk about a price on carbon, because that is a key element of our government's effort to fight climate change.
And will the government charge HST on the carbon tax, yes or no?
The ordinary taxes will be levied in the ordinary fashion.
Does that include charging HST on the carbon tax, a tax and a tax, yes or no?
The point, Madam Chair, is do you have a plan to fight climate change or do you not?
The point is, does the government plan to tax the tax? Will the HST apply on the carbon tax, yes or no?
The point, Madam Chair, is the Conservatives want to behave as if Canada can be an ostrich and put our head in the sand.
The point is that Canadians can't afford to pay any more. Will she charge the HST on the carbon tax, yes or no?
What Canadians can't afford is an official opposition that denies the fact that climate change is real.
That is false. Well, so we'll assume that that is false, but we'll assume that she intends to tax the tax, and that means that Canadians will pay once with the carbon tax and then twice with the tax on the tax. So what will be the full cost of the carbon tax per litre once the tax and the tax and the tax are fully implemented? How much?
The official opposition just said it was false that he doesn't have a climate plan. So does that mean he is sticking with the previous Conservative leader's climate plan? That's what he was elected on.
The question was, how much per litre once the carbon tax is fully implemented? How much?
The point, Madam Chair, is that in the 21st century, the world is building a clean economy. The Conservatives are in denial about that. That is a disservice to all.
What was Canada's ranking in the Climate Performance Index out of 63 countries?
Let me tell you some important rankings. TD judging our green economy plan.
So what was Canada's ranking in the Climate Performance Index? What was our ranking?
TD judged our climate plan in the 23 budget to put us at par with the United States and ahead of the rest of the world as a green economy investment destination.
Funny. The United States doesn't have a carbon tax, but even funnier that she thinks that the bankers are happy. I'm sure they're happy. They don't mind paying what turns out to be 41 cents a litre when this carbon tax is fully implemented. How much will that cost net to the average family?
I would like the Conservatives to really look themselves in the mirror and ask, is it credible in the 21st century to not have a climate plan? Because that is the reality of this opposition. It's a disservice to all Canadians.
She has a tax plan, but she can't even tell us how much it will cost. We know it will be 41 cents a litre for the first carbon tax. How much will it cost the average family in higher heat, gas, and grocery bills? How much?
As the Leader of the official opposition should know, our price on pollution goes right back into the pockets of every family in Canada. It goes back into the pockets of families here in Ontario, of families in Alberta, in Saskatchewan, in Manitoba, across the country.
The answer, according to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, is in PEI it'll be $1,500, for example, in Ontario $1,800, in Alberta $2,700, and that's just the first carbon tax. We just learned that the government plans to implement a second carbon tax called a so-called clean fuel standard. How much will that tax add to the cost of a litre of gasoline when fully implemented? How much?
I'd like to remind the Conservative leader of what he said and everyone sitting beside him when they asked Canadians for their vote in the last election. We will assess progress so carbon prices can be on a path of $170 to a ton. Are they disavowing that, Madam Chair?
I never supported such a thing, so of course I don't need to disavow it. But the question was, the minister plans a second carbon tax. A second carbon tax. How much will that tax add to the price of a litre of gas? How much?
Madam Chair, I just read from the 2021 Conservative platform. The Leader of the Opposition ran as an MP on that platform. He now says he didn't support it. So was he misleading Canadians when he asked for their vote?
No. The answer, Madam Speaker, is that the second carbon tax will cost another $1,000 in Alberta, another $611 in Manitoba, another $850 in Newfoundland and Labrador. Where does she expect the people of those provinces to get that money?
Madam Chair, let's talk about something else. Every single Conservative, including the Conservative leader, promised to Canadians when he asked for their vote. This is a sacred trust we enter into in election campaigns. The Conservative platform said, we will finalize and improve.
So she's got carbon tax 1, carbon tax 2. She can't tell anybody what they cost. Either she doesn't know or she doesn't want Canadians to know. Can you tell us what will be the total cost to an average family, net of rebates, of carbon tax 1 plus carbon tax 2? How much, and how much?
Madam Chair, I would like to refresh the Conservative leader's memory because in the last campaign, his party promised to improve the clean fuel regulations to reduce carbon emissions from every liter of gasoline and other liquid fuels we burn. Now, was that something that the Conservative leader supported when he knocked on doors?
The question was how much is the total cost per family of the two combined carbon taxes plus the tax on the tax and the tax? How much, and how much? That's the easy question. Can't she's got an official there. Perhaps he could hand her a briefing note. How much is it?
The point, Madam Chair, is plan beats no plan. And these Conservatives either were misleading Canadians in the last election, which it seems they were, or today they simply do not have a climate plan.